Welcome to Venture Step Podcast, where we discuss entrepreneurship, industry trends, and the occasional book review. Today, we'll be pulling back the curtain on the new podcast format that I haven't been discussing, but definitely need to let people know. That was one of the questions of why are we moving to this new format of my very few listeners. And so I want to discuss that and, some feedback that I've been given from the podcast episodes, some early results, and just overall gratitude. That being said, so let's discuss the new podcast format. So there's a new intro, right? So we discuss entrepreneurship, industry trends, and the occasional book review. I wanted to kind of give a better idea of what that looks like long term and what I'm envisioning. So discussing entrepreneurship, that could be the company review like I did with NVIDIA, or that could also be a guest on the show from a founder or somebody at a company that has an interesting story, that might bring value to the show. I don't want to start doing that until I become more comfortable as a podcast host and have a solid 25 or so episodes to where it's more of a ask of them to take some time out of their day to join the show, and they could check out the show in their free time. But I feel like is it easier to convince someone like, hey, let me take some of your time to do this show and get you on here and set you up on so and so website so we could do the recording and blah blah blah. I think that's an easier ask when they already see the person just trying. And it doesn't need to be good, right? My episodes aren't good, but there's a clear effort and genuine attempt to try, right? And I think that's half the battle, right? I mean, let me know. I mean, I don't know, but I think that's important, is just to let the person know that, hey, maybe like when they're looking at it from their perspective, hey, like their host that's asking me to join the show maybe is not the best episodes, but they're genuinely trying and they're having a good time. And I'd like to, push the train instead of joining a freight train that's at full speed. That's kind of how I see it. So that would be entrepreneurship. So it'd be kind of this mix between just doing a company review, and then there would be some piece of guests coming on. And I would like to have more guests. It'd be great to have 24 months worth of guests coming on. If I had a guest once a month, that would be super interesting, and I would love to listen to them and learn. But right now, I just don't think that's realistic. And I would rather find my feet as a host before I start asking people to take time out of their days. And then hopefully they have a great experience. They share it with their other entrepreneurship friends. And then lo and behold, I have a pipeline of people that can go on the show. So industry trends, that would be similar to the AI video that I talked about. I did like a video / audio format. I did some sharing on my screen, discussing some prompts and these weird AI videos that were generated. So that would be industry trends. And then the occasional book review would be similar to what I did last week with the Daily Stoic. Industry trends could be whatever it is. I think that it's interesting to focus on AI because I'm super interested in it. I'm definitely not a AI researcher. So if you want AI researcher type content, I'm not that guy, unfortunately. Sorry. But I know plenty of AI researchers have a podcast. There's a joke between the scientific community where it's like the AI researcher does like 2 hours of work, has coffee, goes for a walk, does their podcast for 5 hours, does like another hour of research, and then dinner. So it's basically a meme saying like every AI podcaster has a or not not every AI professor slash researcher, like big time, has their own little podcasts for AI stuff, which is pretty cool. I think it's a good form to share that kind of information in. But I think that you could definitely find something if that's what you're looking for. But I think it'd be more practical where, hey, how do you use this stuff? How can you find value from it? And why is it important as an entrepreneur to know like what's going on? That's what I'm thinking about right now. And then the book review is just as someone who potentially, if you're listening to this, I hope that you are curious, and I might keep that curiosity going or pique your curiosity to look into a book that maybe you've already read or want to read, and maybe this review brings you to the next step. I don't know. I want to read every month, so this is a good way for me to force myself to read. I'm not really forcing myself, but I think that's a bad word, to stay disciplined. And that goes to the next like kind of segment. Is the reason why I picked this format was to have this positive feedback loop where I myself am staying disciplined, I'm staying informed. I have to read constantly of research papers, I have to read books, news related content. I have to work on Vibition. I have to do Venture Step podcast episodes with the end goal of me becoming a more interesting person from this disciplined lifestyle. And when I say interesting, I want to learn and I want to explore life. And those things are important to me. And I think the best way to achieve those is to have a good system, because from my understanding of what other people said, this is definitely not my information, but in a short one-liner, it's your outcome is a derivative of the minimum or your maximum output of your system. So your minimum outcome is the maximum production of your system, basically. So what does that mean? If you have these lofty goals, but you don't have a good system, you won't achieve your goals, and you only achieve what the maximum outcome of your system is. So if you have a poor system, you have poor outcomes. If you have a good system, then maybe you have a chance. So this is really what I'm saying is I'm trying to create a good system that has this positive feedback loop that makes me a more interesting person, more confident speaker, a better podcast host, and better entrepreneur, a more rounded individual. And then hopefully all those things mashed together make me a more interesting podcast host, which gives you more intriguing episodes, which then allows, I don't know, more people to listen to it. I'm not sure. I'm surprised people listen to the episodes. Currently, they're horrible, but we're going to keep improving. And some of the, oh man, if you guys are watching the video, I'm getting bit by a mosquito in my room. It's killing me mid episode. So I'm like squirming around on video. But basically, want to create a format that's a positive feedback loop for myself and for you. And then hopefully over time, I'm improving, you're improving, and then we all get something out of it. So I have been getting some feedback, which is surprising, which is great. It's good. I definitely encourage it. So one of the things that I've been given, or some of the feedback I've been given, was I say I think a lot in my episodes, which is true because I'm not very confident host yet. So in my words, I say I think because I'm not confident. So in this episode, I've been trying to not say I think And then if I want to say I think, I'm trying to take a pause, take a moment, compose myself, find my voice, and not say I think. That being said, appreciate the feedback. That's something that I'll recognize and try to not say as often, where it's super noticeable. Something that's pretty funny is that my Nana, who is my grandma, I make her listen to my episodes, but my Nana, from her feedback, is that I'm talking nonsense. So even Nana knows that I'm rambling sometimes, but I'm getting better at each episode, which is great. Something that I want to work on is I want to be more confident in my voice and not say I think, but I just want to have more general confidence in what I'm saying and have my words seem less malleable, because it seems like I'm kind of shaky in what I'm saying, and I'm saying doesn't sound like I believe what I'm saying. And then the listener is like, well, does this person even know what they're talking about? So I want to emulate more confidence in what I'm talking about. And then another thing that I would like to work on would be my transitions. My transitions on some of these episodes are brutally bad. And so I'm trying to transition a little bit smoother, I would say. See, I got caught up there, but I want to say thank you for everyone who has been listening over these last month, 4 weeks or so. I know that these episodes have been rough, and I'm sure they'll be rough for a while until I get a little bit more episodes under my shoes. And I said shoes, a little bit more episodes under my feet. But I appreciate you guys coming along this ride with me. And I can't wait to see where this is going to be a year from now. And I hope you guys stick around and find out. Once again, thank you for listening to Venture Step Podcast. I'm Dalton, and see you next time. Bye.